I'm all like this, breaking news. They don't run them again, normally. They don't grant EMEFIELE. That former CBN governor, they don't grant a bill. Yes, now. Normally, now know how they laugh. Because this country, film, now they got the act for our eye, they use what the act film. Best way be say they arrest that time. We be saying, not like 6 weeks ago, now they arrest him, say, based on what he do, the money matter, economic, financial crime, say they see this one, money laundry. Till we just say, till Nibu just go London, go greet Buhari. As he come back, now be day. Now we said not change the charges in illegal possession of firearms. Nigeria like your meat. Oh God. The old man, Baba don't go home meeting with Bubu now. Bubu don't tell and say, Baba, you go change the allegation for this guy. You go free this guy, because if you arrest this guy, you go implicate me. Oh. Baba don't say, nah, true. Now you really say, nah, walk away, do that time. If we go arrest and make it, they confess everybody, your name go fall aside. And they say, no, more change. More talk, say, illegal possession of firearms. I'm trying to be illegal possession of fire. Now today there's nothing to possess fire illegally. Now arrest and since. Nigeria, sure. Best way to say, for the first time for this country, we can't use naira, they buy naira. Yes, nah. Our own currency, not be saying a dollar now, our own currency, because they had us to get. That they just change allegations in illegal possession of firearms. See this lawyer, now this lawyer call. You gonna go watch the video now. Say this lawyer the open book of lamentation. They lament say because from the southeast, it's because it's very Igbo name. It's because it's running for person we put entire country for hardship. I'm not talking for the go say number one and one. When I watch the video, now 20 million naira, now they say me take grant a bit 20 million. Maybe you go bring guy now you wallet, you go take pay the money. Wallet Nigeria. When I watch.
Breaking news now. A federal high court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos State, has granted bail to the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, GODWIN EMEFIELE, in the sum of a 20 million and one surety. The suspended CBN boss told the court that he is not guilty of the allegations leveled against him by Nigeria's secret police over the possession of a single-barrel shotgun without the appropriate license. EMEFIELE arrived the court premises around 9:20 a.m. in the white Hilux pickup vehicle, accompanied by arms-wielding hooded officers of the Department of State Security. Let's take a listen.
Forcefully, you labeled him a terrorist. Then he must apologize. Then we ask, you are charging him for possession of firearms when Dokubo, Asani Dokubo, is displaying his AK-47. Have you arrested Asani Dokubo? Recruiting militants, threatening to kill the entire Southeast people. You have not arrested him because he's doing your own bidding. Now you are coming to arrest EMEFIELE for possessing firearms. What about the bandits in the bush, in Sambisa? What about the bandits along Kaduna, Abuja-Kaduna Road? How many of them have they arrested? The bandits that are parading AK-47, how many of them have they arraigned for possessing AK-47? They don't know where the bandits are. If they don't know where the bandits are, don't they know the man who goes to visit the bandits and come out? Don't they know him? He goes to visit the bandits in the bush and come out. How many of those bandits in the bush that have AK-47 has the DSS arraigned? How many? Because EMEFIELE is from the southeast, or because he's from the south that bears Igbo name. We must prosecute them. We must suppress them. In a country, you say we are united and our unity is in our diversity. You just talk, you don't walk the talk. In this country, rule of law must be entrenched. That is why we are here. He must apologize to EMEFIELE for libeling. I am the kingdom. Okay. Lawyers in defense of democracy.
Okay, mine. Because my colleagues, they've made valid points and accurately and correctly represented what happened in court earlier today. And to further show you what happened in court today, this is the order of the Federal High Court, which lawyers to EMEFIELE are about to perfect as we speak now. We have always stood for the rule of law, and our presence here today is to ensure that the sanctity of our laws are respected, that the provisions of our laws are respected, that judgments of courts are obeyed, and orders of court purely executed as it is, both in form and as it is found on the paper. So the DSS attempt to further humiliate and arrest Mr. EMEFIELE is a desecration of the temple of justice. In fact, it disobedience of that court order, which is very clear. Release the man on bail if he meets certain conditions, and then if he fails to meet those conditions, let him be remanded in Nigeria Correctional Service Center. So that is the order of court. Whoever you are not allowed to disobey that order. It is immaterial whether your gun is as big as the vehicle behind me, is as big as the house behind me. What we are asking you to do is that as a creation, the DSS is a creation of the law. It is an institution established by our laws. They must respect our laws. And the only way they should respect our laws today is to go home and report to their superiors what happened in court today. And if you attempt to rearrest him in court, first of all, if rearresting him in court is a complete desecration of the temple of justice, as I said earlier. And then, not only that, it will be a disobedience of court order and an invitation to anarchy. And who knows what this will result to. It is better we warn that we told the path of peace and the rule of law, and that is why we are here. Obey our laws, obey our constitution, and everybody will go home in peace. And as I've always said, one day, their own time will come. It is this same institution that they desecrate today that they will come back to. The court is the last hope of the common man. It is EMEFIELE today. He may be Ugochukwu tomorrow. He may be Maxwell tomorrow. He may be Kingdom tomorrow. And even Eti Yusuf. Who knows? But it is this court that will always sustain one thing: the rule of law and the sanctity of our constitution.
Your name?
Ugochukwu Ezekiel.
Please, can we capture this?
Yes, okay. No, we are civil society.
Sorry, you did not tell me to
Sorry.
Just listen to speaking to us about the case, because right now we are still within the premises of the court. We are still within the premises of the court, and we're told that Mr. Godwin Emefiele is still within the court premises trying to perfect his bail conditions, because according to report that we have right here, men of the DSS are trying to pick him up afresh for another matter entirely different from what we have right here right now. And some lawyers are raising objection that it's going to amount to desecration of the judicial system, of the court system, for the DSS to arrest him thereafter. We can now also see some prison warders standing by also to pick him up as well, to maybe keep him in their custody pending the time that he will perfect the bail conditions. But right now is the atmosphere is kind of pensive as people are watching out for a possible drama around here. That courtroom, we see Mr. Emefiele inside that courtroom, filling the bail papers and waiting perhaps for his bail conditions to be perfected. But the DSS insists, and that's why they are standing around, that they must pick him up for another trial entirely different from what we have right here. So we are still standing by. We'll keep our cameras rolling in anticipation of a possible drama right here and right now. But let me also remind our viewers that moments ago, the court granted Mr. Emefiele a bail worth 20 million naira and one surety in like sum, who must have a property in Lagos. So we don't know how much of that papers have been signed inside, because the suspended CBN governor is still inside that court. He pleaded earlier not guilty to the allegation of being in possession of firearms without appropriate license, and the judge listened to the argument of the government prosecution team and of course his own lawyers, and at the end of the day decided to grant him that bail of 20 million naira. So let's keep a tab on what is happening here. Let's keep, we'll just stand by here to see what happens at the end of the day.
Oba, if you know this information, do you know where they will be taking, where the DSS plans to take him after he finishes filling out his paperwork on a second charge? And also, approximately how many DSS members are on ground right now?
We don't know where the DSS will be taking him to, but it is certain that they want to take him into their custody. Remember that for several weeks he has been in the custody of the DSS until a court ruled that they either took him to court or they should just release him on bail. And that was what triggered the DSS in taking certain actions, including what we are seeing here today. He has been in their custody almost perpetually until now. So if they succeed in taking him from here right now, they will take him into their custody and he will remain with them, maybe till another appearance in court. We don't know what they are going to, charge him for in that fresh appearance in court. So right now we cannot tell you specifically the number of security teams we have inside this court premises, but we have quite a number of hooded, fully armed DSS operatives around us here. I don't know if my cameraman can see some of them wearing hoods, carrying arms, and just taking strategic positions around the court right now. So we wait to see what happens here. We can see the boss of the correctional services also standing by. Perhaps they also want to take him into custody, because usually when a suspect is granted bail, is handed over to the security services until he's able to perfect the bail conditions given to him by the court. Then after, he'll be released on bail from that correctional service. That is the tradition. But the DSS can also claim that is a high, it's a big case. That it's a big case of, in terms of the magnitude of the case. Therefore, they may also claim that perhaps the correctional services may not have enough security to keep him in their custody. Therefore, they may claim to take him into their own custody and keep him there pending for that determination of the case. So right now, we are still in court waiting to see what drama will play out at the end of the day.
Then, Oba, just getting to us now information from this particular hearing, the counsel for the federal government, Nkiru Jones Inebo, in an oral submission, opposed the bail application that we're now seeing being granted, insisting that the prosecution had not been given time to respond in line with the provisions of fair hearing enshrined in the Constitution. She also said that the prosecution had information that the defendant, that's talking about Mr. EMEFIELE in this regard, has refused to hand in his passport, suggesting that his capacity to evade and abscond from his trial. Do you have any information as to whether his passport has been collected? Because that in itself could be a reason or an excuse as to why the DSS might want him back in custody, seeing that he has the capacity to evade and possibly abscond from his trial.
I cannot independently confirm that information right now, because what we know is that after the bail conditions must have been met, we have seen cases where even after meeting the bail conditions, the international passport of the suspect still remains with the government. So we don't know. We really cannot say for sure if the DSS has his international passport in their custody or is still with Mr. EMEFIELE. But right now, right here, what we are waiting to see is whether Mr. EMEFIELE will be allowed to enjoy the bail starting from this court, or will be taken into the DSS custody for, further prosecution.
Well, it seems that he has pled not guilty, and as you said, the drama continues. We will keep a close watch on this as the day continues.